We're back at the Jersey Mike's Jamaica Classic at the half. North Texas leading Utah State by a single point, 30-29. Bill Roth, Steve Wolf with you here courtside. All right, it was not a high-scoring first half until the last 3 or 4 minutes when the teams got into a little rhythm offensively.
Offensive explosion the last 3 minutes, but there's been a couple guys that actually have been scoring, and you know, for Utah State, Brito did a really nice job in the first inning, 10 points. Really moved well without the basketball, getting to the basket, Bean finding it for a cut and an easy layup. But you know, there's not enough of these outside jump shots going down, and that's why both teams are struggling, and it's a close game. Gibson has kept this Green machine in the game with his outside shooting. He's been distributing the basketball, but they need to get him to the basket a little bit more.
Now let's have a look at our game summary. It's presented by Jersey Mike's. The shooting percentages actually went up dramatically in the last 3 minutes of that first half. Teams did a pretty good job of not turning the ball over in that first half, and as you saw there, Brito and Gibson are the leading scorers. This would be a huge win for North Texas to knock off a top 15 team if they can figure out a way to do it.
Well, I tell you that, you know, you listen to Coach Mack at halftime. I mean, he's a little bummed out. He says, listen, we're just not playing the best way we can. I mean, this is a team they have an opportunity to upset. You got to finish at the other end. Get back in transition.
Second half, straight ahead from Montego Bay, coming up after these messages.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the half. AT&T, giving you more for your college basketball thing.
Here's what you've missed. Eastern Michigan over North Carolina A&T earlier. LSU in a high-scoring game, outgunning URI. And later tonight, UMBC and Nichols will play here at the Montego Bay Convention Center. But we've got a good one here. This would be national news if North Texas can figure out a way to hold on and upset number 15.
Well, we'll see what changes were made at halftime by both of the coaching staffs and see how these guys can execute the game plan.
Well, this is the second game in a row that they've trailed at the half. Hey, hey, hey! Goo gets it going. That's a highlight dunk from a guy that can do that.
Beautiful pass, and then Goo just went baseline and just took off about 5 feet from the basket.
James Reese trying to guard Merrill. They call that a clean block. And here come the Mean Green again with Hamlet to the goal. Behind the back, Goo couldn't finish but drew the foul.
How about Goo running the lane? But in the play before that, Hamlet with a good pass. And Goo just gets around quickly, gets around Bean, and Merrill's not able to help out weak side because he was just too quick getting to the basket. Kid's got some hops. You know, guy I think that has really played a good first half, and he started off on the second half playing the same way as Hamlet. He's distributing the basketball. He's got 4 points. He's got 3 assists, and he has not turned the ball over, and that was a big problem for him on Friday night. He had 5 turnovers and struggled.
Goo, the former star at North Dakota State and a grad transfer to North Texas, puts the Mean Green up by 5. This is the largest lead of the game for North Texas.
Well, North Texas is playing like Mean Green. They're really taking Utah State out of their rhythm. Playing like junkyard dogs. They're on everything. Very, very quick. Good fundamental defense, denying the ball. And you're right. They read the game plan.
Well, they reflect the personality of their coach. That's a big, big shot for Miller.
Miller, who struggled Friday night, is 7 points, and that's a huge 3. I mean, Green is switching screens, and that time somebody missed the assignment getting over to Miller in the corner.
Simmons spins over his right shoulder and scores. Yeah, you call them junkyard dogs. They kind of reflect the personality of Coach Mack. He was a walk-on at Baylor. He's only 5'8". You know the kind of personality you got to have to be a walk-on at a Big 12 school when you're 5'8"?
Somebody forgot to tell them that they weren't supposed to win this game.
Porter at the other end. Connects, and it's a 2-point game once more. That's a smooth shot by the lefty, Hamlet.
Hey, I think he's just playing a very solid game. Taking what the defense gives him. You know, he's not a huge scorer, but they're allowing him to shoot. He's going to take it up there.
And one for Porter. Well, a much better start to this second half. With some offensive confidence on both sides, and Porter with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
I think both teams went to the locker room, and the coaches settled them down. Said, you got to run your offense, take your shots. It's a good move by Porter going into Goo and then fading away.
First foul on Goo. And the first team foul in the second half. Or second by mistake. Second foul on North Texas. Gibson's long one is a bit too strong.
I think they need to go after Karvosky with Simmons. Simmons can bring him out, and he's quicker. As you see Porter getting the offensive foul.
He made the pass, but after he let it go, he ran right into Goo.
That's funny because the last time he took Goo to the basket, faded away. This time, Goo went over there and stood right in front of him and took the charge. Turnabout's fair play.
Jemiah Simmons back into the lineup for North Texas, giving Zach Simmons a break. Thomas Bell off the bench as well, the 6'6" forward back into the Mean Green lineup. Goo has had some throwdowns in this tournament.
Right now, Goo can bring out Karvosky out on the perimeter. 7'2" as opposed to 6'8" for Goo. And maybe get to the basket a little bit quicker. Now that Simmons is out of the game, the big guy will be Goo.
Gibson, quick first step. Draper. There's Goo again with the left hand this time.
Karvosky's not quick enough to guard Goo on that low block. Karvosky came out and helped out on Draper, then was not able to return back quick enough, and Goo was able to get the easy bucket.
Bell deflects that one away. We know from watching him this week, Goo's a right-handed player. He throws him down with his right hand, but watch him with the left here.
It's a very smart move by Draper, getting it out to the perimeter, and a quick pass inside by Bell. Nice left by Goo. But it's going to be hard for Karvosky to guard him down there. And also on the other end, it's going to be hard for Goo to guard Karvosky. But they have to look for him on the low block, get him close to the basket.
Kuba has 2 tonight. He's the tallest player in Utah State history. Back for his junior year after missing last year with a knee injury. Rolls home the second one. He'll take a breather, but they're making Utah State now with Anderson coming back in. They're making him go a bit smaller, right?
I think that's smart because you got the athletic, quick North Texas. Utah State has to match up with a little bit because the perimeter, there's a lot of quickness, and now there's a lot of quickness on the interior for both teams.
Anderson will guard Goo in this man-to-man for Utah State. Gibson had the ball deflect, and it's a foul.
That was fortunate because I think it was a kick ball.
Kick ball.
Inadvertent kick, but the clock will start back at 20. As you see, Bean kicks it with his foot down there. But they're switching, and sometimes as Anderson gets caught on a smaller guy, he's got to.
Goo goes again. Boy, he was thinking dunk, lost the handle, and then so did his teammate Draper.
Set on line, John Wooden says, hurry up, but don't rush. That time, Draper and Goo, both of them, had big eyes, and they were going to the basket, just didn't have the ball in their hands.
Draper takes a seat. This is Roosevelt Smart. He is a senior guard out of Chicago, back into the lineup now for Grant McCaslin.
They gave him got some good minutes out of Smart in that first half. And a few bright spots on the offensive end with the Mean Green.
Brito couldn't get it to go, but he was fouled.
North Texas foul
Smart commits the foul. That's the 4th team foul, and Diego Brito will get 3 free throws.
Now the rule of thumb is you never foul the jump shooter. I think you magnify it. You never, ever, ever foul the three-point shooter. Both guys going after him. You know, you're supposed to go out high hands, but you got to stay away from the shooter's body. Just don't want to get those 3 easy free throws.
Well, Geico will make a donation to the Montego Bay Boys and Girls Club for every free throw made this weekend. Visit geico.com to learn how you can save 15% on car insurance. Brito makes all 3. We're tied again. North Texas goes back to its bench. Jemai Simmons returns to the lineup for the Mean Green. Thomas Bell will take a seat.
It's important right now for North Texas to get something going offensively into the paint, get to the free throw line, see that ball go through the net.
Gu has been their leading scorer in this game. He's the only Mean Green player in double figures.
He's the only big guy in the game. There's 4 guards and Gu.
With the left hand, left it short.
Defense by Utah State.
Brito, the skip pass. Barstow feeds Merrill, who is still scoreless in the game. And another foul. And that'll send us to a timeout. We've got a good one tonight here in Montego Bay. Utah State, number 15 in the country, bidding for the championship. North Texas hanging right with them.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Sports Development Foundation Jamaica, developing a nation through sports. By America East, energizing bright minds, celebrating champions, inspiring leaders. And by Playa Hotels and Resorts, laid-back island luxury in Montego Bay.
That's Chukka Sandy Bay Ranch, where the famous horseback ride and swim experience. You won't find that very many places in the world. That's Delano Ford from Phase 3 Productions, company here in Jamaica. They're based out of Kingston. They supplied the crew for great sporting events just like this, assisting with our CBS broadcast with cameras and the video truck. Whenever you go to an international destination, you need a great host, and Phase 3 has done that. They're a huge part of the success of the Jersey Mike's Jamaica Classic. Thanks to our partners at Phase 3 Productions.
Well, they've done a really nice job. There's so many aspects, you know, whether the wireless mic, you know, the headsets, the sound, how it sounds coming through to your television. Very, very good partners. So far, Merrill still leading scorer for this team. Has not scored, but you're not going to see him pressing. He'll go the whole game without scoring, and if they can win the game. And that's his main focus.
Roosevelt Smart created that turnover. Just the 7th of the night by Utah State. Hamlet for 3, and he missed that one badly. Oh, I guarantee you that Merrill won't be scoreless at the end of the night. In fact, he may get to the line and score now. He's just too good of a player.
But you know what? There's so many guys that I see, as you see Merrill get to the basket, gets the foul. You don't have a couple shots, you don't make your shots, you got to get yours. He's not a get yours type of kid. And this team, I think that, you know, a lot like Eastern Michigan, they like each other. They want to pass and make the other guy better. And Merrill's the leader of this squad. I mean, he's the guy everybody looks to. He's a heck of a shooter, too.
That was the second foul on Gu. He's going to get a breather now. A rare trip to the bench for Gu. Abdul Muhammad will check in. A rare missed free throw by Merrill.
Had one last night, too. So 90% free throw shooter struggling a little bit.
So now North Texas is playing without its leading scorer tonight in Gu, and that is a reach-in foul on Merrill.
Foul is on number 5, Sam Merrill.
You'll see Gibson going to the basket. Merrill trying to stop him. Tack foul there, but it was a foul.
Number 2 on Merrill.
Something on the floor here.
Dwayne Gladden picks it up. Very rare that Sam does not score in double figures. The Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. One of the great players in college basketball. 9 to shoot. Wow, Hamlet broke him down, didn't he?
Oh,
but a great defensive play by Alfonso. Merrill at the head of the key. That's a good look. But they're going to call an illegal moving screen. It got him open. Anderson moving. Set the screen, but was moving when he did.
Anderson, his first team fourth.
You have to stay strong, hands down. You can't move when you're setting that pick. And a lot of times, the guy setting the pick, he gets called for the foul, but the guy that's running off the pick is the guy that should be called because he's not setting this guy up to be able to utilize the pick.
Gibson against Merrill. He bited him on the way down the lane.
Yeah, that was a good call.
That is a good call, and that is number 3 on Sam Merrill.
Well, Gibson is doing a really good job of breaking Merrill down and getting in the paint. You see Merrill not able to stay up with Gibson's quicks.
Here's the inbound to Hamlet. Quick step to the goal for Mo Gibson.
Right now, the problem with the lineup that's in there is nobody really that can keep Mo Gibson and Hamlet, both of these guys, in front of them. You know, the quicks on the perimeter, you need a team effort inside so that Mo Gibson can't get to the basket. It's a small lineup, very small lineup, except for Simmons for the Mean Green.
Anderson backing his man down. Forces it up. Couldn't get it to go. Woo. That's a big rebound for Bell, isn't it?
That it really is. And, you know, that was solid defense by North Texas. Nobody helped out on Anderson, so he just kept it.
Simmons misses the easy one. And Brito counterattacks for the Aggies.
I'll tell you what, this is a North Texas team that is fighting tooth and nail. That is just really hard defense on the perimeter. And as I said before, Anderson's getting man-to-man coverage. Nobody's helping out on him. So what he likes to do is draw the defense in for the double team and kick it out, but they're not double teaming him.
That's a deep 3 and a bit too strong. But you're right. I mean, North Texas is doing a really great job of making Utah State work for everything on the offensive end. Anderson gets 2 in a row.
Assist to Merrill. You know, a guy that would be pressing would have taken that shot. Merrill's not pressing. You know, they're up by 3. He's okay. Obviously, he wants to be scoring a lot more, but good pass to Anderson down low.
That floater makes it a 1-point game.
Pace of play picking up a little bit. Air ball by Miller, but both teams trying to get up and down.
Mo Gibson again. That's an NBA range 3. No defense for that.
Listen to that crowd. I tell you, all you want, if you're the Mean Green, is to stay close, stay close. Put the pressure on the Aggies. They're the ones that are supposed to win. You have to give the Mean Green team a lot of credit because they are playing some hard defense.
Merrill doesn't get the roll, but he does get the foul, and he will go to the line. Mo Gibson from way out high has given North Texas the lead here on a Sunday night in Montego Bay. Well, coming up on Tuesday, our CBS Sports Network crew will take the trip across the Caribbean Sea over the Cayman Islands over to Cancun for the Cancun Challenge. Starting at 6 Eastern Tuesday night, Wichita State against South Carolina, followed by Northern Iowa against West Virginia, only on CBS Sports Network. Your home of Caribbean hoops, huh? How about Goo? This young man has played a heck of a game.
Coach Maxwell and Gugu over the way this guy's playing. He's getting the ball, and he's getting behind the defense. He moves so well with the ball, and he's got a quick jump. It's very hard to respond back when you're out of position. So if you go over to help and Goo gets the ball, it's going up and it's going down quick. He's got very quick hops. We profiled him, and he does have a brother named Panther Goo, one of the greatest names. And right now, Dengu's playing like a Panther out there, really strong, playing aggressive.
Tie ball game, 11:06 to go.
You always say with the team that's looking for the upset, if you get to the 10-minute mark in the second half in basketball and it's a close game, you got a shot. You got a puncher's shot. That's a beautiful move by Goo.
Yeah, spinning over his right shoulder and going strong to the goal. He's very quick.
He goes well to his left and uses the basket as a pick.
Miller got that rebound and was fouled. Or did he step on the baseline? Yes, it was the latter.
Abel Porter coming back in. He went to the training room to get his ankle retaped. He's struggling. He's on the sideline, stretching out.
Goo from outside. Boy, he's showing a little bit of everything. It's a 2-point goal for Deng Goo. And a 4-point Mean Green lead.
Right now, I mean, this is a team that is not backing off. They're playing solid defense and getting open shots. It has been a rough sledding on the offensive end for Utah State. No open shots.
Brock Miller can't get it to go. Offensive rebound? No, sir. But Bean will go to the line. Like you mentioned earlier, it's amazing how hard, and perhaps impressive is the word to use, how hard Mean Green defenders are playing each and every pass.
They really are. I mean, they're out in the passing lanes. They're very athletic on the perimeter. So they have the quicks on the perimeter, but it's effort. When your man gets the ball inside, they're helping down when the guy's going to the basket. So they are very quick. And now Utah State's a lot bigger on the low block. Arvovsky's in there. As you look at Abel Porter on the bench, he's had issues with that foot all evening long.
Thomas Bell gets a breather. Karvosky sits down as well on the Utah State bench.
Another reason why Porter's on the bench, he does have 4 fouls, but you know, when he came in from the locker room, I was wondering if they're going to even let him go back in the game to play.
He's got 4. Remember, Merrill's playing with 3. Under 10 minutes to go now. North Texas has led much of this game, most of this game. Utah State's going to try to come from behind in the second half again, much like it did on Friday night against LSU.
Shot clock under 10.
Gibson down the lane. Yeah, with the right hand.
I'll tell you, that's just good body control by Gibson. He leads this team with his effort. I mean, yeah, that's a tough one on Jackson. Going out too far on Merrill. But Gibson is just very quick. There's nobody on the perimeter that can stop him. So the back line, which at that point was Merrill. A little bit too late getting to Porter high off the glass. This is a team that's going to get better and better. They struggled in the early going, but I'll tell you, they got some really talented kids on this team, and I love the way Coach Mack coaches too.
Well, just by playing
intense.
Rhode Island and Utah State, they're going to be better just for having played those two teams here this weekend. But they want to win this one, and they've got a shot with under 10 minutes to go.
It's just important you keep doing what you do. As you look at Coach Mack, he is very intense.
And he's done it all. You know, I was talking to him. He tells the story. He was an RA when he was a GA down at Texas Tech. How many college basketball coaches had the experience of being the resident advisor in the dormitory?
Yeah.
Merrill got caught a bit behind the board, but got his own rebound. That's a tough place. Nice pass to Bean, but he missed badly.
North Texas got away when losing a turnover on the other end. Muhammad in the corner. Now they were able to get it back with good defense on the low block.
Hamlet tried to get it to go over Bean, who contested that well. Excellent defense by the sophomore for the Aggies.
It's important for Utah State to get a good possession. The guy they have to look at is Anderson. He changes the dimension of this defense because he's such a good passer. He's looking for the ball. You got to get it into his hands because he can do so much with it. Overpassed that one. He should have taken it to the basket. It's a good look, but you don't need to pass it in that lane.
We approach the 8-minute mark. North Texas with a 2-point lead over 15th ranked Utah State. The deep one, a bit too deep from James Reese.
Oh, a good hustle by Bean on that play.
Keeping it alive to his teammate.
And because Dang had it.
They're going to wave that off. A defensive foul before the shot. The block will be called on Muhammad, number 5 in green. And it'll send us to a media timeout. Under 8 minutes to play on this Sunday evening from the heart of the Caribbean. Utah State, North Texas.
That's a good hustle on the back end. Anderson for 2. 2-point game.
Under 8 minutes to go. North Texas with the lead over Utah State by 2. Remember, we've got the last game from Montego Bay tonight at 9 Eastern with the Nichols Colonels taking on the UMBC Retrievers. That's coming up next, only on CBS Sports Network. Well, what are we going to see now here in the last couple of minutes?
You know, the last couple of possessions for Utah State, Merrill's come alive. He still doesn't have a field goal, but he does have 5 points getting to the free throw line. So he's going to have to continue being aggressive on the offensive end. For North Texas, they have to continue doing what they do best. Try to move the ball around and get the ball inside. You know, the points that you make for North Texas, they're leading this game in fast breaks, which you really would have thought of in Utah State. And they have 24-16 lead in points in the paint. They've done a very good job of getting ball inside and getting good buckets.
You get the sense that Utah State's going to have to convert at the free throw line down the stretch. The reason I say that is they've not picked up a field goal since the 12:06 mark. 4.5 minutes since they've gotten a basket.
And I think that may be part of the strategy for the Mean Green. Hey, we're going to make it tough for you to get anything going to the basket. And when you see that, you're almost expecting to get hit. And that's a defensive approach, you know, especially when you're more athletic and maybe the other team's bigger. You gotta employ it.
So you muck it up a little bit?
Muck it up.
Remember, Utah State scored at least 80 points in each of its 8 games, and they're at 53 here with 7:35 to go.
Good defense right here. Good half-court defense by Utah State. Merrill looks like he's hurt. Looks like something happened to him. He's limping. He got hit or something.
5 to shoot for Gibson. Backs up, accelerates, misses.
Oh, dang.
Boy, Good could not get it to go, but he got up in the air and had a good shot at it.
There's Merrill. He was hurt, and he just stood on his feet trying to play defense. Now,
Let's see if we can find what happened. Did he turn his left ankle trying to keep up with Hamlet?
Something he did. Yeah, he rolled it coming back. But, you know, Hamlet didn't notice. That's the time when you just raise up and hit that jump shot. But North Texas, I mean, Utah State can ill afford to lose this kid.
Carl Smith, the
7 minutes to go.
Utah State athletics trainer, will help Sam back to the bench. Well, now they're going to have to try to play this at least for the near future without the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year.
Abel Porter will come in for him, and Porter's been out with a bad ankle. You just hope the kid's okay, walk it off, get back in the game. There's still a lot of time left. The shot clock resets to 20 seconds after that out of bounds on Utah State.
Nothing has come easy for the Aggies here tonight.
A little different twist, a little doubling on the post when it goes into Simmons.
Gibson with 5 to shoot. The floater is good.
But no answer for Gibson. Getting to the basket. What he's doing, he gets to the basket and releases it early before the guys can jump from Utah State. Smart play.
Anderson at the other end goes up and under. And we're tied again at 55.
Good
oh,
move.
it's going to be an exciting ending, partner.
I think Anderson is the key right now for Utah State. And obviously Gibson is the key for North Texas. See Brito face guarding Gibson, trying to not let him get the ball back.
Goo from the corner. And that's an air ball. But they get the rebound, and Hamlet's floater too strong.
Rushed it. They're going to rushed it on that. Hamlet had it. Didn't realize how open he was. Now it's Utah State to see if they can take that lead.
Brito flips to Anderson.
See the double team down there. That's a smart play by Anderson.
And he scores. That's a savvy move right there by that junior.
You're right. I mean, I tell you, Anderson looked him off by throwing, acting like he was throwing the pass. Defenders left. Anderson took it in.
Timeout on the floor. 5:53 to play. Utah State with the lead, 57-55.
Beautiful play by Anderson. Watch him look underneath the basket, uses the rim as a pick, and then here makes the defender go away with a fake pass. 2-point lead for Utah State.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. By Tommy Bahama. Shop for your team gear at TommyBahama.com. And by Playa Hotels and Resorts, laid back island luxury in Montego Bay.
Well, close to 50 people put their incredibly hard work into turning the Montego Bay Convention Center into a basketball arena. 255 wood panels placed out on the floor here. It took 3 days, and they've done a wonderful job here turning this into a really fun place to watch a basketball game.
That really is. I mean, the atmosphere is great, but it's nice to have a good indoor facility. It's crowded. Feels big time. Thanks to Jersey Mike's. Tommy Bahama. I mean, we talked about that in other games earlier, that these sponsors have been awesome to us and to the fans here, giving us this opportunity.
Under 6 minutes to play. Utah State's lead is 2. If the Aggies win, they will win the Montego Bay Division Championship. That ball goes out of bounds. Now, if they don't, and we have a tie with Utah State and LSU, actually all 4 teams in the division would be 1-1. How do we break a 4-way tie? Well, the difference is, and the tiebreaker is point differential. And right now, LSU would win because the Tigers have a +11 point differential in this tournament. URI is even in the tournament. North Texas would need to win by 25 points to win the tiebreaker. That's if North Texas wins the game. If Utah State wins, they get the hardware. Little European soccer style tiebreaker.
I'll let you do that, handle that. I'll be out there with the trophy. I want a picture with it. Utah State now with an opportunity to build on their lead. They have not been ahead very much of the game this evening. North Texas has played some really tough basketball. And again, another steal and good defense by the Mean Green. An opportunity to tie this game.
It's the 11th turnover. Hamlet at the other end. Gibson quick as usual. Gang bangs it home. Dang Goo. They're going gaga for Goo Goo. Tie game.
The guy that made that was Simmons. Beautiful pass, big to big, allowing Goo to get the open dunk.
Brito at the other end misses the three, and Goo goes over everyone for yet another rebound.
Goo with 18 points and 7 rebounds, playing a stellar game against his top 20 foe in Utah State.
Ball gets deflected, and the timeout taken. Was he out of bounds? If he gets the timeout.
Simmons and Goo working hand in hand. Beautiful drive by Gibson. Simmons takes it baseline, but he gets Goo cut to the basket. Goo jumping over everybody.
There's no timeout here as the player tried to call timeout as he was on the sideline. So we're tied at 57 with 4:19 to play.
Sam Merrill not on the bench. Taken to the locker room with his bad ankle. You know, as this game gets close, that's your leader. That's the guy you want to go to. And he's not going to be around, it looks like, right now for the last 4:19 of this game.
These teams met in the New Mexico Bowl in football last year. And now they're meeting here far, far away from New Mexico. Far from Denton and far from Logan, Utah as well. Whoa, what a shot that was by Mo Gibson.
Mo Gibson has really brought his A game to this tournament. I'm really impressed with the little guy. Done a little bit of everything here this evening.
Bean responds, and we're tied again.
How about Bean? Very quietly, another double-double. That's his 4th of the year. Every team would love to have a guy like Justin Bean. This does everything he can to help his team win. Goo's behind the defense. Bean's got to keep an eye on him because Goo doesn't need very much room to be able to get that dunk off, get that shot off in the lane.
Hamlet draws a crowd, does not get the roll. Simmons keeps it alive. That's a 3. Bean on the carom. Nearly lost it, but gets it back to Porter. He goes down the lane. Yes.
Charge.
They call it a charge.
And
they want the basket to count, though, but no basket.
That's problematic now because that's his 5th foul. Porter has 4 fouls, so.
Big call. He fouls out. 3:03 to go.
Well, Mo Gibson has really been an unbelievable asset to this North Texas team. He's been able to weave in between defenders on the low block. He's also hit outside jump shots. He's got 19 on the game. He's only got 1 turnover. And they now have Abel Porter, they're saying is the fouls on Abel Porter. That's his 5th. He has come out on the court. And I think they're going to have to put Bairstow in for him because that's 5. He's out.
So Bairstow will replace Porter. So now he has fouled out. Merrill.
He just has come back on the court and he's walking. You know, what happens is they go in. He's entering a game right now. But they have 5 guys out there, so I'm not sure if he can't go in until the next play. But a lot of times what they do is they go back there and retape that ankle to get a little bit tighter. It's probably what they did with Merrill.
Gugo's baseline, nearly had it stripped. Every possession huge now in the final 3 minutes of a tie game. Gibson lost the handle. Good job by Brito, but he had it tipped away. A huge scrum at midcourt.
That's going to be Utah State's ball. Neither team wants to give an inch. I mean, this is fun to watch.
And now here is Sam Merrill coming back in after missing much of the second half.
You need to put a fork in this thing. Hot potato. You see Bairstow goes down on the ground. Reese is down on the ground. Now, this is really important for Utah State, and I think Merrill's still limping a little bit, but at least you have some leadership at the point guard now that Porter's out.
Different kind of challenge for Utah State tonight compared to coming back against LSU on Friday.
Well, you have to play against tougher teams that are really, really athletic. I mean, this is a team, North Texas, going to win a lot of games this year. I mean, very good, quick on the perimeter, and extremely well coached. But you have to play against teams where they're quicker than you. You have to figure out how to score against them. Look how, I mean, literally, they're in the jerseys of the Utah State players.
Did he push off? No whistle. The basket goes down.
That's a good no call. That's a good no call because he went straight to the basket. Anderson's the guy that you have to get the ball into his hands because he can do it so many different ways. But you'll see Merrill in the corner. He's looking for Anderson. The dang is going to flop a little bit on that play. Good no call by the refs.
Aggies by 3, or by 2, my mistake. 2-point game with 2:10 to go.
It's very important right now that they go to the rim. Good block by Bean.
Huge block. 2 minutes to play. Now the Aggies look to build on that lead.
There's been 17 lead changes in this game. This is an interesting matchup right now. You got Anderson with Gibson on him, and Craig Smith is taking a timeout.
Timeout on the floor with 1:50 to go here in Montego Bay. Well, Eastern Michigan won the Rose Hall division of this year's Jamaica Classic. The Montego Bay division up for grabs now. If Utah State wins this, the Aggies will take the championship trophy home. If North Texas win, then by tiebreaker, LSU will win the Montego Bay division.
With 1:50 left to play, you know, this is the time when you can't turn the ball over. You know, the better free throw shooting team is Utah State. So you want to play good defense without fouling. Oh, that's good defense. Hamlet is just playing strong defense.
Anderson,
He's a man amongst boys. He's so physically talented, quick around the basket. When he gets one-on-one coverage, you should get the ball to him every time. Like the ball in Gibson's hands, he can do so many things with it.
Nearly lost the handle. Utah State really D'ing it up now. 10 to shoot for Hamlet. They're going to take a timeout.
I think that's a smart timeout too, Bill, because they were really out of sorts. But when you have Anderson at the other end, Merrill knows he's got to get it to the big guy. Simmons can't guard him on the perimeter, and Gu is going to the other side, so it was a man-on-man situation. Anderson able to take it right to the rim for the 2 points. People look at the score, and if Utah State wins this game, they'll say, what happened? Well, you know what? North Texas is playing awesome. And if you're a top 20 team, you find different ways to compete. That's what Utah State's been able to do. Turn around from a huge emotional win against LSU after being down 19.
And tonight they've lost Porter. They had Merrill out of the game for much of it with an ankle injury. And North Texas has made them work for each and everything that they've achieved tonight. This is the Aggies' biggest lead of the night, believe it or not. A 4-point advantage with 1:14 to play. Merrill will get some ice on that ankle post-game for sure. He's only scored 5 points tonight, but he'll be the happiest guy in the world to get out of this gym, this country, with a victory.
Well, at the end of the year, when they look at your record, they don't look at how many points you won by in a holiday tournament. You got to win.
Oh, a lob, and it was well defended. That was the play they had set up. Nice job by Bean. He read that nicely.
Well, Coach Mack's saying, hey, if it's not there, don't throw it. I guarantee Coach Craig Smith said at the timeout, watch the alley-oop, because that's what happened on Friday night. And that was well defended by Bean. Now Brito with a chance to build on this lead.
Five-point game. That's another example of just the great scouting that you see on both sides tonight. The coaches watch so much tape, and if the players are locked in on the team meetings, which clearly both Coach Smith and Coach Mack's teams were, they know how to defend the other guy.
And right now, even if Brito makes this, Bill, it's still a two-possession game. I mean, you have to make sure you get a good shot at the other end. North Texas only has one timeout left, but they have to be quick in getting to the basket. Try to get to the free throw line, get the clock stopped. You don't have to go for a three right now, but if you keep playing with the ball, you will have to go for that three.
Gibson, that is for three, and he missed badly.
See, you have enough time with a minute 12 to play where you don't have to go for that three. So even right now, I think I'd go for the two. Try to get a quick foul. You've got to get possessions, and this possession has taken way too long for the Mean Green.
Well, he had Brito in the air. He might have been able to draw a foul there if he had gotten under him a little bit.
Brito jumped up and went way far away from the jump shooter.
That's a straight-on three, but it's off the iron, and Brito has the rebound.
You got a foul. You got a foul.
Brito does a nice job getting it across the stripe to Anderson. And there's the reach in on Bell with 37 seconds to play.
Coach Mack was yelling to foul. You have to understand scoring clock.
Time now for the play of the game. It's presented by Tommy Bahama.
Now, the guy that I think has really made a difference has been number 10 Anderson. Now, Alfonso Anderson's been able to get to the paint. When he's not double teamed, there's nobody can stop him for North Texas. That last basket was probably the most important in the game as he goes to the free throw line now.
Two strong games in a row for Anderson.
I don't think you can say enough about this North Texas team. Coming in here, the underdog, pretty big time, I would think. And they just hung, they played hard. This is a team that's going to have a lot of wins down the road. I love their character. I love their leadership by Gibson. I think Coach Mack's the guy to get it done. Conference USA. And the score is not going to be indicative of the game. I mean,
nope.
This was a nail biter. This is not an 8 to 10 point game at all.
There's the foul with 16 seconds left. Yes, so Utah State's going to score a season low in points tonight, but they're going to feel happy with this victory because they found a way to grind out a win when Merrill was hurt, not having a good scoring game. A game that Porter was hurt and then fouled out, yet they still won.
With 3.5 minutes left, North Texas had the lead. Let's make that clear. Utah State, over the last 3:40, has gone on now an 11-0 run. So this is a team that has given it all, and you look at the score and it just doesn't, it's not indicative of the way the game was. No reason to foul for Utah State. Just play solid defense.
Gibson misses. Merrill the rebound. And the Aggies win the championship of the Montego Bay division of the 2019 Jersey Mike's Jamaica Classic. They end the game on an 11-0 run. And Utah State will get the hardware and the championship trophy to take back to beautiful Logan, Utah.
You know, when you look at the way North Texas played, it's going to really help both of these teams down the road. Utah State had to figure out a way to win this game. Hard fought. They changed lineups. You had Merrill go down. You had Porter go down. And they were able to win the game. And they kept North Texas hitting Merrill out of double figures. He was 0 for 6 from the field. Only had 5 points, but a win's a win.
Such a different game than the other night. But in each instance, they had to rally from behind for Coach Craig Smith's mom and dad celebrating their wedding anniversary here. Right? 2 different games, but you learned an awful lot about the Utah State team here this week.
Yeah, they looked a little nervous there in that picture, and I think that a win is a win. And the guy holding the trophy really had a lot to do with this victory for Utah State.
Tommy Bahama presenting the championship trophy to the Utah State Aggies, the 2019 Jamaica Classic Montego Bay Division champions. For Steve Wolf and our entire crew, I'm Bill Roth. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We'll send you to College Confidential now, the 2019 Veterans Classic. That's coming up after the break.